Thank you to everyone for joining myself, Rabbi Natasha, and Chazan Stephen, and Rabbi Jeremy today. I'm also delighted that Rabbi Nava Berenshtein is with us from her home in Israel, and we'll be hearing from her shortly. My goodness, there is a lot of clergy here. I'm feeling very outnumbered. Today, we mark the founding of the State of Israel in 1948. So that's 72 years ago. On that day, David Ben-Gurion, who would go on to become the first Prime Minister of Israel, publicly read the Declaration of Independence of Israel. Now, according to the Jewish calendar year, this was the 5th day of the Jewish month of Iyar, and each year the anniversary of this date coincides with the Gregorian months of April or May, and so around this time each year, Jewish communities in Israel and all over the world come together to mark the creation of the modern state of Israel. Yom Ha'Atzmaut is a day when we celebrate the founding, but also the continued existence of the world's only Jewish state. And we do this through festive activities such as singing, dancing, and picnics. And in Israel, many schools and workplaces change their habits or close altogether for the day to allow families to take part in these celebrations. Now, the day before Yom Ha'Atzmaut is known as Yom HaZikaron. This is not a day of celebration. Rather, this is a moment to pause and think of all the Jewish and Israeli soldiers who lost their lives to ensure that the state of Israel could live. Today, before we celebrate Israel's existence, we pause and we think of the sacrifices and losses that were made for the sake of its establishment. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Rabbi Natasha.
Thank you, DY. Yitzhak Rabin was Israel's 5th prime minister. He was proud of Israel's many achievements, but disappointed that there was not peace between Israel and her neighboring countries. On November 4th, 1995, Yitzhak Rabin spoke to a crowd of people at a peace rally. This was to be his last speech. Here are some of the words that he said that night. Peace entails difficulties, even pain. Israel knows no path devoid of pain, but the path of peace is preferable to the path of war. I say this to you as someone who is a military man and a minister of defense, and who saw the pain of the families of IDF soldiers. It is for their sake and for the sake of our children and grandchildren that I want this government to exert every effort, exhaust every opportunity to promote and to reach a comprehensive peace. This rally must send a message to the Israeli public, to the Jewish community throughout the world, to many, many in the Arab world and throughout the entire world, that the people of Israel want peace, support peace, and for that, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Rabbi Natasha. And as we remember the fallen soldiers who have died in the creation of the State of Israel, I hand over to Chazan Stephen.
תחת כנפיהם השכינה במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמות הגיבורים מחללי מלחמות בישראל אשר מסרו נפשם על כיבוש הארץ. יצר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור מצרחיים את נשמתם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר Amen.
Let us take a moment of silence for pause and reflection. So we now transition into Yom Ha'Atzmaut, and it is my pleasure to welcome Rabbi Nava. You can unmute yourself, Rabbi Nava, and I will hand over to you.
Thank you so much for having me today. This is really a great opportunity to celebrate Yom Ha'Atzmaut and to remember for the Memorial Day all together. And I wanted to share with you a thought about and a new tradition that's happening now in Israel. So about the Jewish people, you know how we divide into so many different groups. We have secular, religious, Orthodox, Reform, Conservative, Ashkenazim, Sfaradim, and so many more groups. And of course, many more opinions. And there is always be a person who will say, oh, look how beautiful we did there and there. And there is always be the person who will say, oh, that's too bad. We should have done that and that. But today, I want to try to find something that connects everybody together. And we can find it in our name, Yehudim, coming from Hodaya, gratitude, the ability to say thank you. And those days are really sensitive. We just passed the Memorial Day for the Holocaust. And we're standing in front of the Memorial Day for Fallen Defense Force of Israel and victims of terrorism. Yom HaZikaron לחללי צה"ל ונפגעי פעולות האיבה. And of course, Yom Ha'Atzmaut, the Independent Day. That between those two, there is less than a minute to separate. And in the past few years, there is a new tradition that I want to share with you. It's called 10 Yemei Toda, 10 days of gratitude. And I think it's our opportunity to connect to the entire nation as one people, to find what's connect between us. Because I'm sure that if each one of you will close your eyes for a second, you can find what to be thankful for. If it's okay, I want to share with you a picture from last Thursday. Let me see it. From this project, there. So this is one thing that they found to be grateful for those days. They came to a hospital. This is from ER in Hadassah and Karem. And they just gave posters to the doctors that working so hard during those days. So this is one example. And those days are 10 Yemei Toda and not 10 days of pride or 10 days of shame. It's to be thankful. I also want to say thank you for continuing to study during those days and to love the Jewish people. And I want to invite you as individual and as a group to join those days this year or next year, and every day to find somebody or something to be grateful for. And I want to share a song that I love very much. It's called Moda Ani or Modeh Ani by Meir Ariel. That it's coming from a really old prayer that the original of it, it's not Modeh Ani that we say every morning. It's a Modeh Ani that we say on Friday night, either at shul or at home, right after Shalom Aleichem. I know not many people do it today, but it was a really old tradition, and Meir Ariel brought a song to it. And I'm gonna share the words also with you, the lyrics in English and Hebrew, so you can follow. Can you see it? Perfect. Can you still see it? Because I'm looking at, okay. אני לפניך ולך על כל החסד והאמת והטובה והרע והטובה שעשית עמדי ועם ביתי עם קרוביי וידידיי עם בני עמי ועם ארצי ועם כל העולם אשר בראת בלט חרש חרש אט תופפות עתידות עתידות לקראתנו ואת מחייכת אליי תוך השינה זה מתחיל כבר בבוקר, ואת מחייכת אליי תוך השינה לתרגם. יהיה לנו טוב, טוב מטוב, טוב מאוד, זה מתחיל כבר בבוקר, ואת מחייכת אליי תוך השינה. So again, thank you very much. And Yom Ha'Atzmaut Sameach. And healthy days.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Nava. That was really beautiful. I guess I also want to quickly thank all of you who have joined us here today. It's quite a strange experience when you're doing the Zoom because you can only see the people who are in the Zoom meeting, and it sometimes can feel like there are not other people there. But I will just say to Rabbi Nava and to everyone else that I have another screen here which shows me the comments, and I can see you're getting loads of hearts and loads of thumbs up. So I think people really appreciated that. So thank you. I wanted to leave everyone with some suggestions of ways that you could mark Yom Ha'atzmaut at home. Here are a few different things, and I think they kind of cover a whole different age range. So obviously, you've got the simple arts and crafts, which are really good for younger children. You can make, obviously, an Israeli flag, when you can learn about the Magen David, the Star of David, but perhaps you could come up with your own Israeli flag. What do you think should be the symbol of the state of Israel, or what do you think is the universal symbol of the Jewish people? And you can make these out of any materials. You can display them on your walls. I mean, at the moment, I've allowed my children to take chalk and literally chalk up my walls of my house. So you could have them draw it on the walls of their house, of your house, or around the side, whatever you would like to do. Maybe you could make a rainbow flag of Israel, combining the NHS and the food is also a very Jewish way for marking an important event. Why not have a look online at some recipes inspired by Israel? Of course, hummus, though not exclusively Israeli, does have a long relationship with the region. Why not make hummus? Is really easy to make. Literally, if you want an easy one, just take a can of chickpeas, a little bit of garlic, some olive oil, chuck it in, whiz it all together. Helps if you have a bit of tahini. Easy peasy. I'll share some recipes online on the Facebook group, but why not make a load of Israeli inspired dishes and then have them outside as a picnic? Picnics in Israel is a way that some people mark and celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut. If you can't go outside of your house, maybe just do it in the garden, or even just do it on the floor of your house. For older children, and this is something we've done at the Cheder a few times, you may want to find the text of the Declaration of Independence. You can find it very easily with a search. Read through parts of it, discuss it. Do you like it? Are there parts that you would think should be different? Are we achieving, is Israel achieving those things today? And if not, what could we do to help Israel achieve those things? However you mark the day, the main thing is to try and ensure that it is meaningful for both you and your child. And given these really unusual circumstances that we're in, just don't stress. You know, if you try it and it's not working out, that's okay. Don't worry about it. This isn't graded, just engagement. I'll end by saying a huge thank you to Rabbi Nava for joining us from Israel, to Rabbi Natasha, Rabbi Jeremy, Chazan, Stephen for joining us from their respective homes. I thought this was really beautiful. And of course, thank you to all of you guys for being here, because obviously that is what makes the community. I wish you all a healthy week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Oh, and also don't forget to check your emails for your home learning packs in about 20 minutes time. Bye.